Yo, what is good, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Big Fight Field channel, where we speak the truth, we're honest, and we give our takes on professional wrestling. Tonight, we're talking about tonight's episode of AEW Dynamite from New Orleans. And you, you people on social media drive me crazy, man. Oh, I don't understand. It's hard to. I don't know. I don't know. God damn, I lost my train of thought there. Um, what do you people expect every single week? I mean, the standards. It's ridiculous. The standards are so high for AEW, a 5-year wrestling company, mind you, that these wrestling fans have unrealistic goals that every week has to be a pay-per-view worthy card. And every show, if it's not great, then it sucks. And those are the same fans that told us come wrestling fans that, hey, just enjoy it for what it is. It's the same fans. And now they want to come back at us and be like, hey, no, this sucks. I don't understand wrestling fans, man. I don't understand what you people want from Tony Khan every single week. Do you want 5-star matches? Do you expect every single match to get a 6-week build with the story? You know what the story of the matches are? The power rankings. And building your way up to a championship match. What is the story of Swerve Strickland and Hangman Page's Dealer's Choice? It's for them to get more wins so that they can face Samoa Joe, the world champion, at the pay-per-view. It's like sports. This is a sports concept with the rankings. You know, what's the story with Jon Moxley and Jeff Hardy? Rankings. They want to get another win under their belt to climb up the ranks in the rankings, and they're also telling a story with Jeff Hardy. It's like sports, right? The Philadelphia 76ers wouldn't be going out there playing the Milwaukee Bucks for no reason, right? Fuck it, man. We're just going to go out there, play basketball. It's not going to count on our record. We're not going to try to climb up in the standings. No. That's why they go out there and they play basketball. To get a win and climb up in the standings. Try to get another win under their belt before the next game. And then you try it again against the next team and the next team. It's like sports, but you people can't grasp that. Is it perfect? Of course it's not perfect. Was it great? No. But I thought tonight's show was very good, and you people are just not appreciative, man. You're not. AEW, I'm going to get shit on for this. I don't care. AEW has a really good direction going for Revolution. WWE has a really good direction for the road to WrestleMania. It's unfortunate that all the injuries have happened on Monday Night Raw. But the direction, I'm excited for WrestleMania. I'm excited for Revolution. It's okay to like both. It's okay. All you negative Nancys out there, man, tweeting, oh, it's a chore to watch AEW every single week? And if it's a chore, then why are you watching? That's my question. Why are you watching if this is not fun and this is not torture and this is a chore? I don't get wrestling fans, man. I really don't. So I'm a little bit heated in the beginning. Not much though, but I still thought tonight's show was very good, man. The crowd was much better than it was last week. I think they had around 2,000 people in New Orleans tonight. I still thought the crowd was really good. I thought the stories were really good. I thought everything that involved Darby Allin, Sting, Ricky Starks, and Big Bill was excellent. And the big story of the night, and so far the big story of the new year, is the return of the power rankings and Swerve Strickland and Hangman Page's climb to the World Championship. And Hangman hates Swerve so much, he knows Swerve wants to go after the AEW World Championship, but as long as he's still in the company, he's not going to let Swerve get there. And that's the story. Hangman is going to do everything in his power to make sure that Swerve doesn't get to the World Championship. And it's now added Samoa Joe to the feud as he is the World Champion, and that's going to be your big hot angle, your big hot match going into the pay-per-view. I'm honestly excited. I think we're going to find out more next week. Next week, we got a big show next week. I think next week is... I think next week is their biggest TV show since Grand Slam. I think next week is their biggest TV show since Grand Slam. They got a stacked lineup next week, man, with pay-per-view implications, championship implications. I'm hyped, man. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. We're going to talk about Dynamite. We're going to get into the matches and everything. Just had to get that off my chest, man. Excuse me. I apologize. I need a sip real quick now. We're going to get into Dynamite, but before we do that, be sure to subscribe to the Big Fight Fuel channel. We got so much fun content coming up, man. I do plan on dropping a Sixers video sometime this weekend. I don't know if it's going to be Saturday or Sunday. It's probably going to be Sunday. I plan on dropping a Sixers video talking about the 76ers. They are on a complete downhill spiral right now. It's not good. And we're going to talk about it this weekend. They're battling with a lot of injuries. It's very similar to the Miami Dolphins. Very similar. We're going to talk about it this weekend. And I got so much wrestling content too, man. We might be talking SmackDown Friday night. I don't know. It depends what happens with Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns, because it's reported that both of them are going to be on SmackDown Friday. So if that match is made official, then I am going to be on here Friday night talking about it. So we're going to have more content throughout the week. And through the month of February, you guys are going to want to be subscribed. It's going to be a fun one. And if you haven't already, be sure to go ahead and check out the Royal Rumble review. And I made a video on the injury of CM Punk at the Royal Rumble. So both of those videos are going to be up in the last 20 seconds of this video. When they appear, all you have to do is click on the video and it'll take you right there. But of course, don't do that until you've watched this review. So now, let's get into the show. And people thought that this was a weak card. Tonight's card was Jon Moxley versus Jeff Hardy, Hangman Page versus Toa Liona, Wardlow versus Commander. We had a sit-down interview with Sting, Darby Allin, Ricky Starks, and Big Bill. Chris Jericho versus Kyle Fletcher, Ty Valkyrie versus Deonna Purrazzo, and the main event was Swerve Strickland and Rob Van Dam in a hardcore match. Is it the best card? No. But, man, you guys are acting like it's the drizzling shits. And it turned out to be pretty damn good and pretty damn entertaining 2 hours. So let's get into it. The show opened with Jon Moxley against Jeff Hardy. And I said it last week, man. Jeff Hardy is doing much better as a singles wrestler than he is as a tag team wrestler. This is now the 3rd straight week in a row that he's put on really good matches. Darby Allin, Swerve. Now he had a really good match with Jon Moxley. Moxley won, of course. Jeff Hardy passed out at the end of the match. They were brawling on the outside. Jeff Hardy got thrown into the steps. Jeff Hardy, at the end of the match, hit a twist of fate. Moxley no-sold it. Hardy hit another one. Hardy went for the Swanton Bomb. Missed. Moxley put Hardy in the Bulldog Choke. And Jeff Hardy he passed out. The story, the ending of this match, is the transformation of Jeff Hardy. Because old Jeff Hardy would have shaken Jon Moxley's hand at the end of the match. And at the end of this match, Hardy looked like he was going to shake Jon Moxley's hand, but he gave him the old fuck you. He gave him the fuck you symbol. And then, at the end of the match, we have these luchadors from CMLL come in and attack Jon Moxley. Some guys in a locker room came out and saved Moxley. So basically, they announced last week that the wrestlers from a couple luchadors from CMLL is going to be coming in AEW. One of them is wrestling Bryan Danielson Saturday on Collision. I think his name is like Hechizero. Gonna have to do my research. Gonna have to watch a couple of his matches. Will I be tuning into Collision on Saturday? In all likelihood, probably. Maybe not. I don't know. Duke versus North Carolina Saturday. That's a pretty big deal to me as a North Carolina fan. So that comes first. But it seems like the angle that we're going to be going for here is AEW versus CMLL, which I kind of like. I really don't know much about these guys, so I can't really give my full thoughts on it, I guess. But they do have a big match next week, and we're going to talk about that when we get to the matches that are happening next week. But it feels like Jeff Hardy is going heel. And I think Jeff Hardy is way better off as a singles wrestler than he is in a tag team with Matt Hardy. He's been putting on really good matches with some of the top guys. Darby Allin, Swerve, Jon Moxley, and man, he's proving us wrong. He's proving us wrong because we were all saying that, man, he's one step away from retirement. He don't got it anymore. I'm a little curious to see what's going on with Jeff Hardy, man. So, we'll see what happens with him. But then we moved on to the first of 2 Dealer's Choice matches. And this was Hangman's match. And Swerve picked Toa Liona from Mogul Embassy to face Hangman Adam Page. And going into this match, Toa has never been pinned or submitted before in AEW. And I thought for his first singles match ever, because he's been in tag matches, he's been in 6-man tag matches, never wrestled a singles match in AEW. I thought he held his own in there. I thought he had a pretty damn good performance against a top guy like Hangman Page, and he was protected at the end. He got some big spots in on Hangman Page. I actually thought these two guys had a very good match. I thought they had a very good match, and at the end, Hangman was going for the buckshot. He missed. Toa gave him a big clothesline and was going to lift him up and hit the Samoa drop. He hit the Samoa drop, but as he was going for the cover, Hangman rolled him over and he beat him with a small package. So, kind of protecting Toa there. He got up immediately after the match. Hangman ran out of the ring as fast as possible. Toa's pissed, and Hangman continues to get the wins and climb up in the power rankings. And that's the story that nobody wants. Nobody, because everybody's like, oh, what's the point? What's the point? The point is, Hangman Page is trying to climb up in the AEW rankings to get himself a world championship match. That's the point. He's beaten JD Drake. He's beaten Claudio. He's beaten Toa Leona. He's beat... who else has he wrestled? He had a match last week. Shit. I can't remember who he wrestled last week. But he had a match last week, I think. And then he had a match the following week as well. I can't remember who he wrestled. But anyway, he's climbing his way up into the rankings to get that match with Samoa Joe. That's the story. That's the point of this match. But you people refuse to think. You've refused to think because you hate AEW. It's what it is. It's what it is. Okay. This was kind of a train wreck. Not a train wreck. I'd say the last couple minutes of this match was a train wreck. Wardlow went one-on-one with Commander, and everything was going fine, and the last couple minutes were pretty brutal. So Commander is on the top rope. He's going for a splash, a top rope splash, and he lands right on Wardlow's throat. And you could see Wardlow clutching his throat like this. That had to fucking hurt. I couldn't imagine taking that. And then he's got Commander on the top rope after he's done a couple moves to him. He does his move where he's got a chokehold on one hand and then he drops him down and knee strikes him in the face. And I don't know what happened, but he went for the power bomb, and I think he tweaked his knee. He buckled his knee, and he just kind of let go of Commander and was very limping, and he had to get down and cover Commander to win the match. But you could tell on his face that he was pissed, and he knew that something is wrong with my knee, and it's not good. I'm hoping it's not terrible, because that shit is very unfortunate, you know? That same thing happened to Seth Rollins in 2015, where he had Kane up for a buckle bomb, and his knee just buckled. His knee just broke down, and he was out for a long time, and he had to get surgery. I just hope that doesn't happen for Wardlow, because the man has been through so much in AEW with how he was treated by MJF in that storyline, and then the whole fiasco with the TNT Championship, and how he was booked as the TNT Champion, and getting his hair cut off, all this shit. And now, potentially an injury. And people are talking about how the Undisputed Kingdom is very cold and there's no heat on them whatsoever. And I can't believe I gotta say this because I said it again. I said it last week. So I will say it again. Yeah, there's nothing that these guys can do because Adam Cole and MJF are both injured. So the goal right now, the main thing going on with the Undisputed Kingdom right now is Roderick Strong feuding with Orange Cassidy for the International Championship. Why? Because Adam Cole is still injured and MJF is out with an injury as well. You people just aren't fucking patient when it comes to this shit. And you have to be. It's gonna happen. You have to wait until Adam Cole is fully recovered, until MJF is fully recovered, and then we are off to the races with the Undisputed Kingdom. But right now, the goal is getting Roderick Strong the International Championship, and the main purpose is Roderick Strong versus Orange Cassidy. And there's nothing those guys can do. So, but for me, I felt like this felt like the most important thing on the show. It was probably the Swerve Rob Van Dam match and then the angle after with Hangman. But I thought this was excellent. A sit-down interview with Sting, Darby Allin, Ricky Starks, and Big Bill. So, Ricky was the star in all of this. Ricky starts this interview by saying, look, I have nothing but the utmost respect for Sting. It's been a long journey for you here in AEW. And we go back 3 years ago when we mixed it up and we were battling against each other. And who was your first match? Who are you fighting in your first match in AEW? It was me. And we got to mix it up a little bit. And he said, you still beating me in your first match in AEW. I still have a big chip on my shoulder over that. And that does not sit right with me. And then Sting says, yeah, you're right. I did beat you in my first match in AEW. And Darby said that Ricky, he's like, oh, so you said you respect Sting. And then Darby goes off to say how he thinks this is a bullshit, and Ricky's he's full of shit, and it's bull crap that he doesn't respect Sting, he doesn't respect Darby Allin, and the only person that he respects is himself. So he's going off on Ricky Starks. And then Ricky goes off and says, I don't have respect for you because you had to leech on the Sting to even get yourself to where you are today. And then Darby, he ends the interview by saying, look at your past. Look at all your failures you've had in AEW. Now you're a tag team champion. Congratulations. But when you've had all your failures and you've blamed others, the only person that there is to blame is yourself. And then after that, Ricky threw a bottle of water at Darby Allin. And then Sting said, he's not going to hit you tonight, but he's going to hit you next week in Phoenix. And I am too. So, and Big Bill said some things too. I don't really remember what he said because I was very blown away by the promo that Ricky Starks cut in this segment. I thought it was awesome. So then later in the show, Darby is getting interviewed by Renee. And And Renee asked Darby, hey, I know you're getting a tag team title match next week, but could you give me some thoughts on the Young Bucks? And Darby is like, are you joking? And then the Young Bucks start walking in and say, that's a great question, Renee. You are getting a raise. This new EVP this EVP corporate gimmick for the Young Bucks is just, wow, it's really good. So that the Bucks walk in and they talk to Darby. It's like, we love you, Darby. We really love you. How we wanted to build AEW with guys like you. We wanted to build AEW with guys like you who never got a chance, who's a daredevil, who's willing to risk anything they can for this company. We wanted to build AEW, and we wanted guys like you in the company. But your main problem is you're latching on to a 65-year-old Sting who's not going to be here longer. And then Darby's like, look, and the Bucks are like, look, we can get you a new gimmick. We can be a trio. We can run AEW together and all this good shit. And Darby says, look, I don't care about the two of you right now. He's like, the only thing that I care about is winning the tag team championships next week. And the Bucks are like, I guess we'll have to do something for him to care about us. Something along those lines. So, I was totally feeling unpredictable about this match next week. But that segment with the Bucks and Darby Allin, when Darby Allin said, the only thing that I care about right now is winning the tag team championships, that told me in my mind that the Young Bucks are going to cost Sting and Darby Allin the tag team championships. And it's going to put more heat on the Young Bucks, and it's only going to make this match at Revolution more personal between Sting and Darby and the Young Bucks as Sting's retirement match at Revolution, because the Young Bucks, ladies and gentlemen, are going to cost Sting and Darby Allin the tag team championships next week, and Ricky Starks and Big Bill are going to walk out of Phoenix still your AEW tag team champions. That's my prediction. I also wouldn't be surprised as well if Darby and Sting win the tag team championships and drop them to the Young Bucks at Revolution, but that makes it very predictable. So I don't know. I'm gonna go with the option that Ricky and Big Bill are going to retain the tag team championships against Sting and Darby Allin next week. But I wouldn't be surprised if Sting and Darby win the tag team titles. I wouldn't be surprised. Jericho against Kyle Fletcher. Good match. Kyle Fletcher looked impressive. Probably should have won the match. I think he should have went over on Chris Jericho. He's the Ring of Honor TV champion. He's got this new character, this new look under Don Callis, and I don't really feel like Jericho needs a win, man. But to AEW's credit, Kyle Fletcher was protected in this match because it took two Judas effects to beat Kyle Fletcher, and the first one might have been probably one of the best Judas effects I've ever seen. So Kyle Fletcher was going for a dive through the two middle ropes, and Jericho nailed him right in the face with a Judas effect. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. And then after the match, we got a stare down between Takeshita and Chris Jericho, because a part of that Stacked show next week, Chris Jericho is going to be taking on Konosuke Takeshita. Deonna Purrazzo and Ty Valkyrie Decent match. Again, what's the story of this match? The story is Deonna Purrazzo continued to climb the ranks in the AEW women's division to ultimately earn herself a shot at Toni Storm at the pay-per-view. That's the story of the match. You are just too lazy to think. You fickle fans are just too lazy to think about it. But Deonna wins once again, and yes, we're one step closer to Deonna Purrazzo versus Toni Storm at Revolution. And then the main event, the second part of Dealer's Choice. This time it was Swerve. And tonight he took on Rob Van Dam in a hardcore match. It was awesome. They didn't use much. They used a couple chairs, a table, but it was awesome. It was really cool. Rob Van Dam throws a chair at Swerve immediately. Swerve is just getting his ass kicked in the first 5 minutes. Rob Van Dam does his move where his opponent's on the barricade. He jumps from the ring apron to the barricade, leg over the back. Still does it beautifully. In 2024. It's truly a great sight to see. Then Swerve keeps picking up momentum. He hits the Swerve Stomp on the outside with Rob Van Dam sitting on the chair. He then goes to pick up a table. He sets up the table. He goes to the top rope. Rob Van Dam throws a chair in his face. Swerve goes through the table. Great spot. Probably the best spot of the whole match. Then to end the match, Swerve hits the last call with Rob Van Dam holding a steel chair. Rob Van Dam kicked out, and then Swerve gave the Swerve Stomp to RVD, and he pinned Rob Van Dam in this match. Match was awesome. Crowd was awesome. Rob Van Dam looked really good. Got himself a nice paycheck, and shit, good for Rob. But the main story of this was Adam Hangman Page and Swerve Strickland after the match. Hangman came out with a microphone and he said, "Congratulations. You're continuing to get win after win. And as long as you're still going after the AEW Championship, I'm still going to be here, and I'm not going to let you get close to that championship." By the way, shout out to Samoa Joe, too. He was fantastic on commentary tonight. So Swerve laughs in a jokerish way. He says, "You still don't get it, Hangman. You still don't get it. I beat you twice. I have nothing to prove. I have nothing to prove to you. I have nothing to prove to anybody in the back. I have nothing to prove to these fans. I beat you twice. I deserve that shot at the AEW World Championship." And as he's going to walk away, Hangman says, "Swerve, you're a coward. The 2 times that we've wrestled each other, you've had the Mogul Embassy help you both times to beat me because you know you can't beat me on your own." And Swerve says, "Look, listen. You're delusional. I'm going to give you what you want. And when I'm done beating you for a 3rd time, I don't want to see your face ever again around me." And then the two get an intense stare off to end the show. And we get a graphic saying, "Next week, Swerve Strickland, Hangman Page, winner faces Samoa Joe at Revolution." I can't wait, man. I can't wait for next week. We got Swerve versus Hangman 3. Darby Allin and Sting versus Ricky Starks and Big Bill for the tag team titles. Chris Jericho versus Konosuke Takeshita. The Luchadors of CMLL against the Blackpool Combat Club. And Tony Khan has a major announcement next week. I don't want to disappoint you people, but the show was in Phoenix last week. And if I may recall, last year Tony Khan made a major announcement in Phoenix. And that announcement was the debut of the premiere episode of AEW All Access. And there was about 6 episodes before it was over. I'm just telling you, be ready. Be ready for an all access announcement. So, but I'm excited for next week regardless, man. I'm so pumped. And I'm out. Thank you guys so much for joining me. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the Big Fight Field channel. Hit the like button if you like what you heard from me. Comment down below your thoughts on tonight's episode of AEW Dynamite. Hit the like button. Follow me on Twitter, Con_Joseph. Y'all know the deal. I'll see you in the next video. Whether that's Friday night or it's sometime over the weekend, I'm going to be making at least one more video during the week. So I'm out. Peace.